Hello again, and I'm out on a day camp today to share with you this thing, something I've been making over the Christmas period. It's known as a Whelen lean-to shelter, and it was made popular by a gentleman, well, who was called Whelen, Townsend Whelen. I'll put his name on screen. And in the 1920s, he started using it on his expeditions, but he also knew a guy who could manufacture, and he kind of took it on board to produce these things and sell them, but he stuck Whelen's name on it, so that's how it's kind of known now. From the 1920s onwards, it's known as the Whelen lean-to shelter. It ticks a lot of boxes in my opinion. It's not that dissimilar to the Adirondack shelters that you can make out of Tarp, but it's just got these side cheeks, and obviously it's purpose made, so it's easier to kind of set up, isn't it? And it's got everything you need to do it. Once you bang your ridge line across the top of it, you kind of string it up on them prusik knots, and just peg it out, and you're ready to rock and roll. It maximises the cover, it maximises the rain and wind deflection, and so all the space underneath it, because it's designed to do this shape, is usable, whereas there are some limitations with tarps when you form them into this shape, because you've just not got the extra protection like these little triangular things on the corner here and things like that. But I'll walk you around it, and I'll show you some of the things I like about it, and I'll tell you a few things about how I made it. So this structure that I've made, it's different to the sizes of the original one, largely because I'm working with what material I could get my hands on. This is a nylon material, and I wanted to use something lightweight. I wanted to modernise this structure. It's lightweight, it's ripstop, it's durable, and it's water resistant. So my concerns are with where the stress points are on it. Basically, I've used like a polyurethane gusset to reinforce these, and they seem to be doing the job I need them to do, giving that rigidity where I need it on these points, which are really important, because you can see there's a lot of tension on these points here. So yeah, a lot of gusseting, a lot of stitching, a lot of crossover stitching in places. It's holding together when I do tighten it up, so I'm pleased about that. But yeah, we'll have to see what it's like with a bit of weather on it. The original ones being made out of canvas, they had tabs across the top, so I've only done one at either side, largely because it's lightweight and it doesn't need to have any more. But yeah, the original Whelen lean-tos, these canvas shelters, they would have tabs all the way along the ridge line to stop it from sagging, I assume, because obviously the canvas weighs a lot more. But yeah, I didn't need to do that with this one because it's such a lightweight material. The original shelters also had timber apexes that kind of jacked up your ridge line, so you don't necessarily need two trees, so to speak. You could form some apexes out of timber and use them as props. So this back toggle here, it's really important, that one, for pulling out. It does exactly, well, what you need it to do. It creates more space inside, I suppose. This is the joining point where I joined the two bits of nylon together. I probably wouldn't do what I did there, because I overlapped it too much, I think, to create this seam. It made it difficult when I was stitching over in certain places, certainly putting webbing on top of this stitching point here. I know it's strong, but yeah, my sewing machine did struggle a bit, so I wouldn't perhaps do that again as much as I did. I'll do a little demo in paper of what the overlap that I did, and probably what I should have done really, because I did it elsewhere and it was seemed amply strong enough. So yeah, I learned a lesson there. If you're going to make this, pay attention to that overlap. It might help you. The toggles you can see on the sides here that you wouldn't normally have on the lean-to shelter. Also, you wouldn't have this overhang either. I've done it like that because this top tarp, the back and the overhang at the front, is 2.9 by 2.4, and I wanted to make it more versatile. So I put them toggles all the way around the perimeter of it, so then I could use it in different formations, or just as if I pull the cheeks in, I could just use it as a tarp on its own. Then I suppose whether I will or not, we'll have to see. But yeah, these other toggles do help with using this tarp in different ways, which I'll show later on. So this is the inside where I seam sealed, and it was tricky to do this overlap, this bunching of material here, where all the stitching is, where I doubled up the stitching as well. Yeah, it was hard to get the iron on that. Yeah, a bit tricky. In the future, I'm not sure I'd use this tape. I mean, if this works, then great, but it was a tricky thing to do, and I had a little bit of a strategy of how I did it. I actually utilised a batten underneath the same size as the seam seal, which there was a 22mm wide seam seal tape, and I think some of the successes I had was having scared myself when the hot iron got very close to the material, because nylon and heat doesn't really go well together, does it? So yeah, the hot iron could have touched some of the parts I didn't want it to, so I put a batten the same size as the seam seal tape underneath that, so when I put the greaseproof paper on top to stop it sticking to the bottom of the iron, yeah, I only heated up that seam seal, but the tricky bits were where the end of the iron didn't get into the nooks and crannies and the corners, but yeah, that's a little strategy that I used, and it seemed to serve me well. So like I say, this is one of my concerns for longevity, whether it's going to be waterproof or not, but we will have to give it a good test and find that out. But yeah, if there's another product, which I think there is, you can not have a paste on seam seal. That's possibly something I'd try in the future. This is the back of that tarp where I put the toggle on this joining part of the materials. Yeah, that proved tricky to seal as well because of the bunched up stitching, but yeah, we'll have to just wait and see, won't we, because that is a spot we don't want any water coming in, because that'll land right on your head. If I just undo this, I'll show you some of my stitching and the gussets that I made. Yeah, these I did try out a sample actually of using the nylon to make these gussets to reinforce these toggles on the end, but it seemed to stretch. So I had some material left over from another project, which is like a polyester material. It's got very little stretch in it. It's quite waterproof as well. Yeah, and that did the trick. That really gave that less pull to spread the load out. So I think they're going to be strong enough, to be honest with you. And when I did the hemming at the edge, I did actually find the best way to do this, which also helped create straight lines. It's like a 15mm wide double-sided hemming tape, and once I stuck that on one side, that helped. You could see that kind of helped gauge the straightness of the seam, and then you could fold it over that and it held it in place, so I could put it on my sewing machine to do the stitching. So I'm sure professionals don't use this hemming tape in industry because it would be too much work perhaps, but yeah, it certainly helped me create straight lines and fold things over sort of tidily to create these good hems. Yeah, I would have struggled without it, I think. There are some joints on the shelter in places where the material wasn't long enough, one being here on one of the cheeks, and then along the back there, because the material that I got was 5 meters by 1.5, so I had to join it to create this size, and that's what dictated the proportions to me. They're not that dissimilar to the original ones. It was a bigger structure admittedly, but this serves me better, I think, because it is more compact. I mean, nylon is lighter than polyester, which is what the rest of my tarps are, a little bit stretchier as well, but yeah, it has its benefits. One thing that I was a bit concerned about when it first turned up, this material, is it's a bit shiny. Yeah, it's got a little bit of a sheen to it. I'm going to do some filming from afar in a minute, just to see how it blends in, whether that'll ever actually be a negative to it. I mean, the olive colour I really like, but yeah, the little shine on it, I would have preferred that to be a bit matter, but whether that'll tone down in time or whether it's not an issue, but we'll have to see. The actual covered footprint is 2.2 along the back, and then 2.2 to 90 degrees from the point where rain would drip down. And because we've got the cheeks splayed out at the moment, you've got a little bit more coverage there for storage and gear. But we're going to pull them in a minute. So we're up to the 2.2 over minimum size. But what that pulling the sides in will do, it will allow us to raise the ridge, because it's 1.2 at the moment, our head height at the highest point. So yeah, when we pull the cheeks in, we'll be able to jack it up higher. That's what sort of structure you'd kind of form if it was a drier weather based or less windy weather. But yeah, this is more the weatherproof version, with it being as low as possible, I suppose. Well, it could probably go a bit lower, to be honest with you, but it'll be a bit tighter to get in. 2 British military bivvy bags laid out there, and they're a decent size, the old bivvy bags, aren't they? And obviously when they're flat like this, they take up more space than what they would be if they had a body in them. But this is the cover line, which line's about here, so you're a good foot away from the side of where the bivvy bag would be, if not more. So yeah, I'd say that's two people comfortably, with obviously gear either side where the cheeks stick out. But what we're going to do now, we're going to pull the sides in to elevate this space, and that's going to give us less space, storage space either side, but it's going to give us more head height in there. But I tell you what we'll do first, we'll just put these bivvy bags the other way to see what they're like. The bivvy bag does stick out a bit, however I've had a lie on them, and my feet are actually in line with the end of the tarp there, so that's all right. I'm 6'2", and yeah, that my feet end up there, so hook the bivvy bag up a bit, and yeah, you should be covered. Obviously that's if it's 90-degree rain. If it's driving rain, it'll splash in a bit, but you're in a bivvy bag, aren't you? So yeah, you'll be fine. But yes, that's interesting. That I'm pleased with that. I could get a third person in there if I needed to. But what we'll do now, I'll pull the sides in, which will give us more head height. I'm just going to get some timber branches to just jack up that ridge, and that'll pull them cheeks in. So yeah, we'll see what it looks like that. I do like a good chorley cake. It is quite a small footprint in regards to what you get in as a shelter, I think. Obviously it's like a tent almost, really. It's one-sided-less tent, isn't it? In this configuration, how high it is as well, that you're getting at 1.5 meters, that 1.5 meter height. And now it's still 2.4 on the outside of the back. That's how much space you need on the ground, let's say flat ground at the back. And this wing, this cheek here, that's 2.4 as well. So it's a 8 foot by 8 foot square that you get coverage pretty much. That's not that dissimilar to my pyramid tent from DD. Yeah, the extra large pyramid tent. That part of the roof could drop down some more to make it more weatherproof, obviously. So yeah, you could totally guy line them back and drop them legs a bit, and then you could get a bit more cover. But yeah, you could totally get a chair in there. I think that's quite a good cover. That I'm interested in that. What I'll do, I'll set the bivvies up now and we can get a better idea, can't we, of what space there is with these cheeks pulled in. The cover at the front now is only a couple of 100mm less. It's about 2 meters cover now. Of course, also we've pulled it up, we've kind of reduced the apex. At a 90-degree angle, the cover's about 2 meters. So you can still get your head in there at the far side in your bivvy, and your feet will be a little bit exposed, but not a lot at all. But you obviously, if it's driving weather, more that will come in. But it certainly feels more inviting, doesn't it, now all opened up? Yeah, I do like this one. I could see myself sat in there in a chair, sit comfortably in there with a beer, perhaps. Yeah, that'd be nice, sheltering from the drizzle. But yeah, it's definitely more inviting opened up like that. Could totally flap this a bit further down if you want some more weather protection. Theoretically, well, it can go right all the way down to there, so you can get a lot more weather protection. Obviously you get less weather protection in regards to how much it covers the bottom of the bivvy if you're going to lie your bivvy that way. But yeah, it's option. You've got options, haven't you? You've got options. I could definitely get me a little chair in here, and I think I'll be pretty covered. That was one of the considerations when they come up with the idea of the Whelen Shelter, to put a campfire in front of it there. And if you think about the shape of these things, they're not that dissimilar to a reflector oven, are they? I suppose they share the same science, in the sense that you're warming this air that traps it in and possibly traps it in above. Obviously you've got a little bit of a down stand there, so it'll trap some warm air in at the top there. And yeah, you'll feel the benefit. There's a few things that I struggled with as I was learning how to sew nylon and seam steel and things like that. I'll put together some sizes and stuff on screen and in the description to share with you if you fancy having a go at making one of these yourself. And you can buy these things, not necessarily the same size as what I've made, but like you can buy canvas ones, not ridiculous money. And I think there's such a good shape, there's just such a good versatile structure. You know, as I mentioned, they've been around for a very long time, so that says something, doesn't it? But yeah, I'm looking forward to camping in this. I'm looking forward to sitting under it and yeah, just enjoying it, and hopefully it'll stand the test of time. I'm going to have a dabble with a few different configurations in a minute, see what else we can do with this structure. Hopefully aided by some of the extra toggles that I've put on there that's, I could say, different from the original Whelen lean-to shelter. But yeah, that's what I'm hoping to get out of this, the alterations that I did, the innovations, let's say, will enable me to make this a bit more usable in different circumstances. It's not a massive footprint that I don't think I'll have loads of problems finding flat ground for, but if I do, I have got other options, which I'm going to show you when I do these other configurations. Canvas stuff lasts ages, doesn't it? Rolled up, they're a big old thing, and about 5 kilograms, 6 kilograms they used to weigh in at, whereas this is actually weighing in about just over a kilogram and a quarter, I believe. That's what this one weighs in at, which I'm really pleased with. Even a pack size I'm really pleased with as well. So yeah, it's not that dissimilar to my other tarps, but I'm getting the extra benefit of not having to make a tarp into an Adirondack shape, and I'm not having to forgo cover for the sizes as well, and I'm not having to find a big footprint, bit of flat ground to accommodate it. So it's ticking a lot of boxes for me. I'm quite excited about using it. I've started making things ages ago, all sorts of stuff, but I never thought I'd be sewing. Well, I mean, I never thought I'd be able to make something like this, and it's only from seeing people on YouTube doing it that has kind of made me think, let's have a go. I wouldn't have thought this is something that I could do at home on my little sewing machine. I borrowed a sewing machine at first, and when I realised I enjoyed it and I could possibly actually succeed at making things, that's when I bought my own. Yeah, I'll put a link to that as well, a sewing machine I've been using, and it's serving me well. It seems to be strong enough to do this kind of thing. Well, nylon's not as taxing as what it is to stitch canvas, and I've modified my lavoo on that same sewing machine so it can go through a few layers of canvas, so I know it's up to it. But this has been a really good project for me. I've really enjoyed it, and I hope you've enjoyed watching the video, and I hope it's maybe inspired you to maybe have a go at making something like this yourself. If not, you can buy these things, like I say, you can get them from America, and you can get them from Bushcraft Spain, and I'm sure there's other places that sell this style of shelter. I'll sign off now, but what I'll do, I'll share with you a few configurations, that other ways you can use this, what I've made, with some of the additions that I put on it. So yeah, I'll leave the video with some of these other ideas, but thanks for watching, and we'll see you next time.